When you train, you don't really think about it. Like every day, you're going out, you're just putting days and days of work, and then you come home tired, and then the next day you do it again, and the next day you do it again. Sometimes you tend to forget, oh, why am I doing this? Like, it's the Olympics, it's every like 4 years. But but then every once in a while, and you see something happen, and you keep thinking to myself, I keep thinking to myself, I could eventually end up there, but it doesn't. Sometimes you go through training and you almost sort of take it for granted that you're training, but then you're really training for a goal. Like, you have something in mind that you want to achieve. And for myself, I definitely wanted to be in the Olympics, but it had to take a lot of. I knew there was a lot of steps to get there, so I tried not to think about it too much. Instead, I set it as a long-term goal, but I set many short-term goals, like many steps to help me get there. I think what really helped me stay competitive and not lose motivation was the short-term goal. First, I started doing it for soccer because my high school and middle school coach, they always wanted me to do running to help with soccer. And then it got to a point where I was not really having a lot of success in soccer as a team, not individually. I was actually doing great individual. I was the number 2 scorer in the entire Boston City League as a sophomore, and I thought that I was probably going to play in college. But when I was in high school, my team was not doing particularly well, and we were not known as having a great soccer team. So at that time, it was actually one of the hardest decisions I've ever made besides college. It was to give up soccer, a sport that I had been playing since I was 3 years old, and I always dreamed of, when I'm 25, I'm going to be playing for Benfica in Portugal, or Sporting or Manchester United, and I had to give up sport of soccer. And I remember when I came home and I told my parents, I'm not doing soccer anymore. I'm not finding as much fun in it. On our team, our team was doing bad. We had one of the worst records. And for myself, it was just very hard. And I still remember the day I told everyone at my school, hey, I'm not doing soccer. I remember I told this girl, Jackie, she was on the women's soccer team, because she really liked, the way I played soccer. She's like, you're going to have a career in soccer. I told her, I just gave up soccer. No one could believe me that I actually did give up soccer. But I told myself, if I'm going to give up the sport that I've loved for my entire life, I'm going to do running, then I'm going to take it serious. And I think that year, it was my junior in high school, that's when I said to myself, I'm going for it, and I'm going to do the best I can to try to one day represent my country. My country, we are a very small country. We're islands, so we're isolated. We have no borders with any other country, and we became independent in 1975. So for us, it's huge. Anytime we all go outside of the country to represent your country, we're going such as a small nation that people have never heard of. They've never seen Cape Verde, so they don't know what Cape Verde is. So I think anytime I put on the uniform, I am introducing Cape Verde for the first time to them. So it's huge to be able to just represent your country and do it well, and make people feel like, hey, this is Cape Verde, a great people, a great country, and I think it's important. As a runner, you have to be very competitive. I think that's the one thing that really separates us from other sports. For example, soccer, that next soccer practice that you can have is not going to make a whole big difference. Or you could maybe take the weekend off. It's not going to make much difference. You could probably take a week off and go to Vegas or Hawaii. It's not going to make much difference. But in track, it's so competitive that everyone is doing. There's so many things you can do, and everyone wants to take every single day to the fullest and use that to your advantage. And you want to make sure that when you get up to the time you go to bed, you've done everything you possibly could for that day. And that's the way I look at it. Everybody is motivated. I'm motivated to go out there and train because I want to beat the guy that beat me at the last race. and then I want to beat them again and again and again. So I think just the fact that we're competitive in our nature and we don't like to lose, and that really like kind of pushes you, because there's not, your coach is not going to be there, at 6 o'clock knocking on your door. Hey, Ruben, it's time for practice. No, I mean, if you don't have that mental toughness inside you to be able to tell you, this is time to train, I have to do this, you're not going to be able to succeed in running. I would like it to be like any other race, actually, because I've been in a lot of races that I've won, races that I've finished mid-pack, races that I've finished dead last and still ran really good. So this race, for me, I'm going to be competing against athletes who are some of the best in the world, but it's not the first time I've done it. I've competed against some of the best athletes in the world. So I'm not, really, really nervous. I feel like I'm more like an underdog going into this race, and I would like to just, enjoy the experience and just race and then be happy with it, and maybe in 4 years go back again and try to use the same experience. For myself, it's a little bit of earning the experience, but also for my country is huge, because this was one of the first Olympic Games that our country had someone very, very close to achieving the B standard for the Olympics. And I came within 43 seconds at the Rotterdam Marathon, and I still have the next 4 years to train to try to achieve the next standard. And if I do achieve that standard, it will be the first time anyone from Cape Verde has ever done it. And right now, with the development of track and field there, the government is starting to pursue track and field more and invest more money into track and field, creating our first national stadium, trying to bring athletes and coaches from outside to do races there, organize races, and bring clinics. So I think it's important for me to go and kind of do well, not just for this Olympics, but for the next 4 years. I need to be able to run fast and motivate others from there to start chasing my times and try to run faster than I am running, because I don't mind if they run faster than me, but it's all for the country. I'm gonna feel just really happy to be there, because I've trained a lot, over the past 13 years. I've basically been training and almost training full-time for the past 10 years, going back to high school. And I think for me it's going to be a sort of almost like a capstone, and something that I'm going to feel, hey, I got here now. I've been to NCAA championship, world championship, and now this is the Olympics. So it's kind of like, hey, you can do it. You just have to keep at it again. Maybe try to get here the next time and the next time after. But it's good motivation for myself to keep training hard and know that, hey, the hard work does pay off, and this is how it's paying off. I think sometimes we kind of like get lost into training and you forget about all the moments you get to enjoy because of the hard work, and I think the Olympics is one of them.